Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Friday, August 16th, 2024. Welcome to the Good News Live at 9 on Facebook and later available on our YouTube channel. Please comment in the chat so we know you're with us. This is a presentation of the Allen Park Presbyterian Church. Good morning, everyone. I'm Suzan Maxey. I'm an elder at Allen Park Pres. And my co-host is the moderator of the deacons. She's a certified social media expert, a Google Forms designer extraordinaire, and the communications manager at our church. Good morning, Kerri Van.
Good morning, Suzan. It's so nice to have you back. Welcome
Nice
back.
to be back.
Yes, welcome back to town. I missed you, but I was busy working on the good news while you were gone. That's how we got that Google Forms designer in there. Good morning to everyone who's watching on this little bit of a cloudy day. Going to be a little bit of a rainy weekend, unfortunately, but that should not stop you from having fun and doing stuff, right, Sue?
That's right. That's right. Especially if it's indoors. We have something tonight that's indoors that you could come to. And that is the game night that we have. It's in our parlor, which is air conditioned, in case you didn't know that. And you can play games with us. It's at 7 o'clock in the parlor at church.
So if you are looking for something to do that's indoors tonight, join us at the church. There's usually snacks available, and we play board games, and it's really fun.
Cards. We play a lot of cards too.
Yes, we play a lot of cards and a lot of board games. I've invited some people to join me there tonight, so I hope to see you too.
Yep. And if you'd like to have dinner before you come to game night, we hear that there's a fish fry back at the Allen Parks Lodge beginning at 5:30. They also serve shrimp, burgers, and chicken strips. So you can dine in or you can call ahead for a carryout. Every bite helps support local veterans and those with special needs in our area. And they're located at 6605 Park Avenue. It's right up the street from the church. I believe it's on the corner of Philomene, or is it White? It's right in that there. It's on the corner, I know.
Right. So we have your dinner situated for you. Then you can come to game night. And then what you do after that is your own business.
Probably go home and go to bed.
Yes. Or stay up late watching Netflix, whatever you're into.
Whatever works.
Yes. Ken Wood said it is 5:30 to 7:30. So if you get there early, you can get your fish fry, support, and then come to game night. So we got your whole evening planned for you.
There you go.
Yeah. And if you're the crafty type that likes making things with your hands, we have our card making class. Linda Clark makes the most beautiful cards in the world, and she is a deacon on the board of deacons and sends out many, many cards every month to many people. But if you want to learn her tricks of the trade, you can come to a class and make cards. The cost is only $5, and she donates it to the food pantry. It's next Tuesday, 10 a.m. to noon in the dining room at the church. She just likes to know who'll be there, so she has enough kits ready.
And that's the dining room is in the downstairs in the fellowship building.
That is correct. So if you need more info, just let me know and I'll help you get a hold of Linda. The fall is here and we have been scheduling things all the way through November. One of the things that happens in the fall is Norma Bentley, our grief ministries coordinator on the deacons, has scheduled grief share workshops. They are virtual on Zoom, which has worked out really well. We've been doing it. I'm her co-leader, and we have been doing it for like 4 years on Zoom. There's a loss of a spouse, which is a one-time, a 13-week workshop that ends on December 11th, and surviving the holidays. We changed our meeting date this year. It's going to be on Wednesdays, except for the holiday one. If you need more information, there is a tab on our website where you can register and share this information with someone who might need it. Grief is a tough, tough journey to go through.
It is. And also something that is direly needed is blood. And we have a blood drive coming up. It will be held on Friday, September 6th, which is right around the corner.
No.
Noon to 6 in our fellowship building. And then there's a free exclusive Raglan Red Cross shirt while supplies last.
A lot of people who give blood are excited about the shirts. It's a great collector item to have those shirts. Barry and Margot are always really cute because they donate to a lot of causes when they do the show. They always have their charity shirts on. I love that. So cool. So we are very well known for having successful blood drives. So please share that information. Our code is APPC. Ann Winslow is asking a question. I'll answer. Is there talk about a new directory? I sent a card to Ryan and it came back. Several of my cards come back. Ann, all you need to do is call me and I will give you every address you need. I will take care of you. She is the sweetest person in the world. Thank you,
I
Ann.
love cards. I
Yes,
love
I
it.
don't, and then to answer the directory question, I don't know. We were not under contract. It's very expensive. I'm sure we're working on a way, but all you got to do is call me. I'll help you. Good morning, Judy Hatch. All right, Sue, sorry, I'm getting off track now.
Well, stuff that's happening around town. Of course, there's the farmers market today, right across the street from the church. It's back in its normal location at Harrison and Park, and it's from 3 to 7 today. There is a food truck today, the CIA Cheese Steak Institute of America. That's their featured food truck of the week. Sounds yummy. And of
Yes.
course, there's all kinds of other vendors here. So
Right, including our friend Steve Donahue, who twists balloons. Got to keep him busy. He keeps track of the numbers, and it's not going to be an all-day rain, and you can bring an umbrella and have some great shopping. And it's a lot of different vendors and things that you can buy there as well. Good morning, Tracy Cross, to the dynamic duo. Thank you. So Sue, this is the next item we wanted to talk about is something that you personally have done, correct?
I tried to, and I was apparently late or whatever, or went to the wrong door. But anyway, I plan to do it next Tuesday, that's for sure. And that is a movie discussion at Lincoln Park Press on The Chosen. I've watched several of the episodes and they're interesting. And Reverend Kara Hildebrandt has a discussion about them. So I'm looking for her insight because sometimes the Bible things are a little, I don't know, they kind of go over my head sometimes. So
Discussion groups are great.
yep.
And Reverend Kara Hildebrandt, as you know, was recently at our church when we had the joint worship service with the other Presbyterian churches.
Yep.
And you're going to be excited to know she is going to be our guest on this show next Friday.
Yes, absolutely.
She has a lot of energy, so I suggest you drink a small amount of coffee while you're watching the show next week.
Yep, and all four churches, you know, I think the pastors are cooking up something else, and hopefully she'll be able to give us a sneak peek of what they're doing.
Yes. So, why don't you talk about the next one because you are more involved with this.
We have one of our fellow Allen Park Chamber members, the Seaway Boat Club in Wyandotte, is having their regatta today and tomorrow. The gates open today at 6 till closing, and then tomorrow it's noon until close. Doesn't really say what time the close is. The music is until 12 a.m. So I don't know how long they'll let you stay after that, but it's an all evening thing anyway. So
the
12 music and games and
so that's 12 midnight.
Time says 12 a.m. Yep.
Wow, fun. All right, so if you need more,
this night owls will be woo.
Yeah, so if that's at the Seaway Boat Club in Wyandotte.
That's at 6 Perry Place in Wyandotte. Admission is $5 per person. Kids under 12 are free.
Judy Hatch commented that she loves The Chosen. Oh, Judy, if you want to go talk about it, they're doing it
Yeah,
all the way until September. What's the date? September 10th, September 10th. So there's a couple more Tuesdays before then. Gosh, it's going fast.
I know it's already fall. So,
So you and some other ladies had a exciting adventure recently, and we would
yes,
like to bring
we
them all in
did.
so we can hear all about it. You heard it first here on
Yes.
Live at 9.
We just came back from a road trip and we all made a pact. What happens on the road trip stays on the road trip. So you're not going to hear everything, but a lot of it. And one of the people who's connecting that was with us is my daughter, Deanna. The other two ladies in the car were Diane Brooks and Sandy Sauerbeck. So the four of us journeyed to St. Louis, Missouri for the Presbyterian Women Churchwide Gathering. It was awesome. And then Deanna talked us into driving another 3 hours to the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum. That's in Mansfield, Missouri. And you can see her smiling already. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning, Deanna. Just to let you know, Diane Brooks wanted to be here, but she's working.
Yep.
And Sandy Auerbach may or may not be here. She's having some work done. So they all were going to be here, but we just do what we can.
Yep.
We
So
do what we can.
the PW Churchwide was pretty spectacular. Deanna, Sandy, and I, yep, there's her badge. We attended the last one, which was the person that was 6 years ago. They're held every 3 years, but of course, COVID affected the last one. It was a virtual one. And so this is the first one back after COVID. And we had 950 to 1,000 women all in one spot. So
Wow.
it was quite exciting. There were women from around the world. I believe there were we heard that there were 14 women who were able to attend from Kenya, and of course all over the United States. So we met women from Maryland and California and Arizona and you know everywhere in between. So it was wonderful. We also had a chance to have dinner and visit with Gail Lee. She grew up in our church and she's been back to see us quite often. And her daughter Lee and granddaughter Emma. We all went out to dinner. So that was pretty special too. They live in St. Louis now, so they were able to join up with us. So what do you want to talk about, Deanna? What was your impression of it?
So
Okay.
I'm here. So the Presbyterian Women's Conference, we heard a lot about love, that lovely four-letter word, LOVE, love, and how anything in life you can't do without love, and especially with God's love. And just how love pops up in your life in different places and in different ways. And I think the biggest thing I got, what does it truly mean to love your neighbor and love your community? Because you love your community a different way than, say, how you love your family or your friends, and how do you love the community, and how do you love your congregation and the people that you serve with as well. At the conference, I got to meet a lot of other women, some women who were older from other states, and we got to kind of talk and see what are they doing at their churches. But I was really surprised that I was not the youngest one in the room this year.
That's great.
That was
there was
awesome.
there was a collaboration about 20 other young women between the ages of like 20 and 35. So the millennials and what comes after millennials?
The
Gen X,
or Z? I don't know. One of those letters.
One of those letters. So there was like a nice group of us young women in the different workshops and getting to share our perspective and our ideas with other congregations. And then they shared with us what they're doing to keep hopefully their young people, their young families, their millennials and the Gen Xers and the Alpha Zs, interested in church. And how do you do that? Because what people did 50, 60, 70 years ago does not work today in modern times. You have to adapt and change. But it was nice just seeing other young women, young women in their 20s and in our early 30s at the conference. Because at the last conference, there was a total of 4 of us, like young women. So it felt nice having a bigger group of young women that, we can relate to each other a little bit too. Um, this conference was a little bit harder it was a longer drive than the last one. But that's what makes road trips so much fun is, with the others in the car, we were looking for cows and horses and different things on the side of the road, corn. We saw a lot of corn and soybean.
We did.
But stay tuned because we are going to be doing a really special event, hopefully in September, for everyone to come to if they want to hear more about Presbyterian women and what we learned at the conference. Because over the course of 3 days, we attended 7 workshops. So a lot of us took notes and pictures and different things. So we have a lot we want to share, a lot more than what we can do on a Friday morning. So hopefully in September, you can make it to our Presbyterian women event that we would like to hold at our church. It was also, besides just the conference, we got to do some sightseeing. We got to see the arch. We got to go on a riverboat cruise. And the arch is just so beautiful and immaculate. And I can't believe how tall it is and the way it curves in the arch. Oh, yep, there we are.
Oh,
It
that
was
looks
just
so pretty.
it was so pretty. It was a beautiful day. It wasn't too hot. We went early in the morning. And then what also was really special was there was a group of soldiers doing their recommitment ceremony to stay in the army to do another tour. Is it a tour? But they were there with like some of their leaders and their family and friends, and they stood in front of the arch with the flag and they rededicated themselves to stay another like term in the army. I don't know if that's the right term or not. I'm so sorry if I'm messing that up. But it's really cool to see them, we were all standing on the sides or we're sitting on the benches watching them recommit themselves for our freedoms was really special. And to do it in front of the arch, because I think 1 or 2 of the people who were re-enlisting, there's the word I wanted. They're from St. Louis. So what better way than to do your recommitment ceremony, your re-enlisting ceremony in front of the arch with all these visitors just surrounding you.
That's so cool. What a great
That was
moment
really
you were there. Yes.
I know. And then I'm sure Mom has touched on it briefly, but the young kid in me, the young teacher in me, I convinced 3 other women to stay an extra 2 days of their vacation, and I am so grateful and appreciated because I know it made time more away from work for myself and my mom and Diane. So the probably biggest thing we did besides just being with faith with women was we went to the Laura Ingalls Wilder Historical Museum in Mansfield, Missouri. Now I have wanted to go to the there we go. I have wanted to go to this museum since I was 8 years old. My mom read the books to me, the book series when I was a kid, and I had to follow along. She'd sit right next to my bed and she would reach, she'd say, okay, where am I at, kid? Where am I at? And I have to follow and read a page or 2, and then she'd read some more. That was how she got me involved in reading and helping with my reading fluency, but I had to follow along. So we read the books when I was in 3rd grade. There's 9 books altogether. So it took pretty much the whole year because they're not little chapter books. They're pretty thick books because she wrote about pretty much her whole life from when she was like 6 to her late 20s, early 30s is her book set. So there's a lot to unpack in those stories and in those books. So I convinced them to stay. The largest museum and historical artifacts is there in Mansfield, Missouri. But there are 8 other locations around the US of different things for Laura Ingalls Wilder historical. There's one in near Pepin, Wisconsin, Kansas, Missouri, South Dakota, Florida, Malone, New York, and New York is a really special one because that is where Laura's husband, Almanzo Wilder, is from. And we were reading the books Farmer Boy, which tells his life story as a young child and as a teenager, is Mom's favorite book of the whole series. Is called Farmer Boy. It's the third book in the series. But there is a house dedication to where he grew up with his family and his parents. So there's Mansfield, Missouri, Pepin, Wisconsin, Walnut Grove, Minnesota, South Dakota in Densmont, Burr Oak in Iowa, Independence, Kansas, Malone, New York, and then there's a cemetery in South Dakota dedicated to the Ingalls family. Laura's parents are buried there, and some of her sisters are buried there. Laura and Almanzo and their daughter Rose are buried in Mansfield, Missouri, and we actually got the opportunity to go to their gravesite and pay their respects. And we got to put, a coin on top of each one of their grave sites. And I got to say like a little prayer and a little thank you just for all that, she's, done in my life to help, she's my hero. She's what inspired me to want to become a teacher and to work with young people, in third grade. So it's just really cool getting to go to her grave site to, pay that respect, but also to go to the historical museum. So in the historical museum, this is the entrance where it shows kind of what like a stamp would look like. And then throughout the whole museum, there's a timeline that goes around the edge and it shows each one of the book covers. And then it has artifacts. So like, her China doll that she had as a kid, her jewelry box she got when she was a teenager after the really harsh winter they had, her clothes, her older sister Mary's certificate of graduating college for the blind, and they're all wrapped in cases and they're all roped off. But I took so many pictures that my phone died. My phone died, and I had to go back to the car and get Mom's phone so I could take more pictures. Because it's not just the historical museum. So there's the historical museum. Then there's the farmhouse that she and her husband Almanzo lived in. And then there's Almanzo's garage, which is called the Wilder Garage, where there was tools and cars and things that he would use to help fix the horses' hooves. He was really big into Morgan horses, and the horses helped out on the farm with planting crops and doing chores around the farm. And then they also, so we got to see, that's 3 buildings. And then the 4th building we saw, and they're not close together. You kind of have to drive to each location, but we got this really beautiful map. And so we were there for 4.5 hours. And it's some of the best 4.5 hours of my life. I had a smile on my face the entire time. Sandy and Diane kept laughing at me because I just could not take it off of my face. I just could not take it off of my face. And then the very last building we saw is the Rocky Ridge Farm. It's called the Rock House, and it's made entirely out of rocks. And it's really pretty, really beautiful. And we got to see also where Rose lived once she returned from her travels when she was an adult, where she lived. And then we kind of made our way back through the property. And then we went back to our Airbnb to kind of rest and rejuvenate after walking around for 4.5 hours and listening to the docents in each building. I have so much literature, and we did spend a lot of time in the gift shop. I might have spent some money buying books and DVDs. I can't wait. I might have spent some money, gotten some magnets.
Oh, you froze. Well, she
They
doesn't have a
used for
smile.
some.
There we go.
You froze for a second.
Yeah, you froze. Your joy is contagious.
Oh yeah,
I'm
what we all loved. Is like she couldn't get the smile off her face, and Sandy and Diane kept saying, "Oh, she's just like this little kid come out and just." Well, you saw the 2 pictures I showed you. She's got this huge smile on her face, and I'm so glad that we went. And I think the other 2 agreed that it was like. Deanna was so happy. This was like unbelievable. So.
I do have some comments. Judy Hatch said she read all the Laura's books in 4th grade. Ann Winslow said, I went to a conference once and just loved it. Wish I could do it again, but it didn't happen. Workshops are great. More women should try it. Glad you are going to have a meeting in September. I will try to attend.
Oh.
So That is great. I just a great thing to go on a trip and to be with other women and to network. I love that more than anything. All the ideas that come from it. So looking forward to your September event. I feel that it's probably going to be hybrid, right, Sue?
That's the plan. We have
Right.
to work
We'll
it out
see.
with
Yeah,
you
we
and
don't know. No
whatever.
details yet.
Yeah, no
No
details
details
yet.
yet.
So as soon as they become available, we will let everybody know. Because, I mean, hopefully the ideal is that it can be hybrid, so we can be in person, and then people are actually around the synod will be invited, because there were a lot of women that couldn't attend. 6 years ago, I believe there were 1,500 women that attended. So, you know, it was considerably less, but 1,000 people still a lot of women in one spot.
Right. Right. But Sue is definitely going to reach out to some of the women that she met to see if they like to be guests on our show, because what better way to spread the good news, right?
Right.
And Deanna, you're, as always, you're a great guest. You could just run the show by yourself, and me and your mom could drink tea or coffee and not
Well,
have to
thank you for
worry
having
about.
me again and for getting to share my passion. And because I love teaching and I love Laura and I love what she represents and what she stands for. And people always ask me, well, what can I do to help my child be better in school? What can I do? The biggest thing you can do is when a parent, adult, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, niece, whoever just reads to a child a book, a magazine, reading things you see in the grocery store, helping with that language and just getting to hear words. Like that's the biggest thing you can do to help a young person in school is start reading to them, you know, even when they're still in the womb, and then especially when they're after, just reading, you know, child appropriate books as they progress, but just reading McDonald's sides, reading, you know, magazines, reading the, you know, when you go out to eat at a restaurant, just reading and just exposing them to as much language as you can does so much wonders. You can't even, you don't even know. But just reading to a child is the biggest advice I give to parents when they ask me, well, what can I do? Read to your child. Do you have books at home? No, you don't have books. Okay, here's my library. Pick 6 books and read. And then in a few months, come get more, because I have so many books that I just want to give away and just put in hands of children. Because reading is important and it will help you through the rest of your life. So here's my little plug for reading.
There you go. That's wonderful, Deanna. Oh, hi, Lindsay C. Bloom. Nice to see you watching. As always, wonderful. It just gave me a warm feeling, even though the sun's not out. I feel sunny today, and appreciate you both sharing your experience. And Winslow said, maybe you can use these ideas as a teacher. So much information. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Sue, I think we're getting to the end of our time. Believe it or
Yeah,
not, flew by.
sure has. So, thank you very much for being with us, sweetheart.
Yes.
Our scripture today, we're going to use the one that was used for the PW gathering, and that is 1 Corinthians 16:14. Do everything in love. And that is the logo that was made. So great advice. Do everything in love.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
And if you'd like to learn more about the good news of Jesus Christ, be sure to join Pastor Tim. He has devotions live at 9, Monday through Thursday, and that's also on Facebook. And then join us Sundays at 10 a.m. for worship, or you could read your child or grandchild the bulletin. That would be great, right? Worship is live streamed on Facebook and YouTube, or it's in person in our beautiful sanctuary in Allen Park, Michigan. If you'd like to be a guest with us on a Friday of your choice, just let us know. There's also a form on the website now, and a whole website actually dedicated to it. So check out www.allenparkpres.org for lots of information. And we hope you'll join us next Friday when Reverend Kara Hildebrandt from Lincoln Park Presbyterian Church will be our guest on the Good News Live at 9. And remember, God loves you. And so do we.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Deanna. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you for
Bye.
being with us. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Hopefully see you at game night tonight.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.